Some of the most limiting style rules we follow are the ones we never consciously made. I more or less wore off pencil and maxi skirts sometime after graduating from a very particular chapter of my life. And I didn't revisit that decision for years. Not because they're inherently difficult, but because they carry memory, associations, a certain rigidity of meaning. But over the last year, really the last 6 months in particular, I found myself circling back with a kind of stubborn curiosity. Not how do I wear those, but where exactly did I decide they no longer belong to me? And more importantly, can I take them back? Because here is the proposition. What if a skirt, especially the aforementioned ones, could function with the same reliability as your most trusted pair of jeans? Styled up or not saved for when you feel like making an outfit, just reintegrated. Could I reach for it on a slow morning, to run errands, to date, to go out, to be seen, to not be seen? Could it hold seriousness and a little bit of danger? Could it let me disappear slightly when I want to and take up space when I don't? Could it carry all of that without me feeling like I'm performing the idea of wearing a skirt? That's the experiment. This is where it starts, almost deliberately unremarkable. No big statement, no heavy styling. Just a baseline, something you could almost overlook, which is kind of the point. But for this to work, a few conditions need to be recalibrated. First, length. Not mini as a vague category, but precise placement. If you are a petite, your best bet is just below the knee or just above. Enough to interrupt the leg, not swallow it. Otherwise, mid-calf can work beautifully, but only if it feels intentional, not default. Second, the waist. And this is where things shift more dramatically than people expect. A lower rise, either constructed or created through styling, even slightly, that takes the skirt out of the realm of polite, abstract femininity and places it back onto the body. It becomes intentional, alive. Third, the shape. And here, restraint matters. Not quite a pencil, but closer to straight than to flare. Less volume, more line. Think of it as a silhouette that suggests the structure without insisting on it. There are, however, two exceptions, and it's worth noting because it proves the rule. First, the shape. The subtle V shape works not because it's dramatic, but because it's dynamic. Second, the fabrication. It's still in the realm of pencil skirt, but the pliable fabrications don't restrict movement and molds to the body as opposed to highlighting the hips. If the goal is to treat the skirt like denim, then it has to pass through the same range of lived scenarios, not idealized ones, real ones. So here are a week's worth of outfit ideas for different daily life scenarios. A day where your mind is moving faster than your body, where the agenda is full, but the objective is steadiness, not speed. You're moving through multiple physical settings, walking, sitting, reaching, and the outfit needs to keep pace. You may not see anyone you know, and that's not the point. The point is to feel like yourself while moving through it. A slight release, but not a full one. Yesterday's momentum is still in the system, looking for somewhere softer to land. So you meet it halfway, something considered but unfussy, social but still grounded. A setting that asks for composure without flattening your personality. You want to project clarity, reliability, a sense of grounded authority, while you're still allowing for a visible point of view, structure with a signal underneath. Thursday, a creativity jolt, a moment of creative drift where the objective isn't output but reconnection. You dress slightly ahead of yourself to meet the version of you that's thinking more freely. Choose remain practical. The rest can loosen, expand, detach from expectation. A return to structure, but with a loosened grip, an opportunity to introduce imbalance in a controlled way, something slightly off but resolved, relaxed but intentional. An open question, less about the plan, more about the possibility of one. A look you've returned to enough times to understand its range. A base that can shift tone through small interventions. A stack of necklace, a red shoe perhaps. Each adjustment recalibrates the outcome. Yeah, ultra feminine, but held in check by clean structure and restraint. The choker adds a hit of bold texture at the neckline, while yellow meals cut through with an unexpected flash of color. Soft palette with a strong intent, feminine but not fragile. Alternatively, a more approachable use of color blocking. A faded turquoise knit top paired with a Kelly green pencil skirt. Structured but relaxed, allowing the color to do the work instead of embellishment. Polished enough to feel considered, but softened for daytime ease. If a skirt can move through all of that without needing to be redefined every time, then it stops being a category P and it becomes infrastructure. And that's where it gets interesting. Because a skirt, especially one with a bit of give, does something denim doesn't always do very well. It negotiates. With an oversized shirt, for example, then it tends to resist. It pushes back, it holds its ground. A skirt doesn't. It absorbs the volume. It redistributes it. That tension, something roomy above, something closer down, creates balance without forcing it. And that's a very particular kind of power, because nothing about it feels overworked. It just lands. Over time, what starts to emerge isn't a single formula. It's a framework. A belt shifts the emphasis. A necklace pulls the eye somewhere else. A different shoe changes your posture entirely. And suddenly it's less about this is the outfit and more about this is the surface. Something you return to, adjust, refine, reinterpret. So you're not repeating yourself. You're evolving the same idea. So I did swear off a pencil and maxi length skirts. And maybe you've done the same with something quieter, something less obvious. But style at its most interesting isn't really about constant discovery. It's about revision, about going back with better instincts, sharper awareness, and reclaiming something you dismissed before you fully understood how to use it. This isn't really about skirts in isolation. It's about what happens when you stop treating your wardrobe as fixed categories. I'll keep testing this in real life, piece by piece. If you want to follow the experiment as it unfolds, you can stay around. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye.